Hallo Muckers, guten Tag. Thank you so much for clicking on my YouTube channel. I appreciate you being here and choosing to spend a little portion of your night with me. Hello. Okay, yesterday's video got a lot of people talking, and I've had these two TikToks that have been sent to me that are going very, can't even talk. Apparently they're going that viral. There we go, viral about Gypsy Rose, and we watched one yesterday, and I was planning on doing both in one video, but I had so much to say about it, and I knew a lot of people in my community would have a lot to say, so I split them up, and oh my god, I was correct. Like, the comment section is, insane right now. Like, so many people thankfully are giving their opinions and everyone's talking about it. And by the way, I appreciate when people do that. And also, if we're watching a video or I say something that you agree or disagree on, don't feel that you can't comment if you agree or disagree. I really appreciate when we can have like an open conversation about these things, because I think it's very important as well. So like, the comment section isn't just like an echo chamber. Like, I think it's important. So this one is the one that I haven't reacted to. Now, the other one was very controversial, and I assume that this one is going to be as well, so we're going to blind react and give our opinions on it together. But basically, the one yesterday was saying that Nick, the ex-boyfriend, is now doing an appeal, and this creator believed that Gypsy Rose going on these podcasts and saying that actually, you know, she isn't a murderer, she could never do things like that, it was all Nick, goes against what she said when she was in court, which is, you know, she was a part of it. So this person was basically making an issue that Gypsy in prison said that she was a part of it, and then now on like this kind of like press tour that she's doing, she's saying that she wasn't a part of it. They're basically saying that they think that the parole people could come after her, or the court system could come after her for basically publicly changing her opinion. A lot of people in my comment section were saying something that is very valid as well, which is like, your freedom of speech within America specifically, like, you can't really be held to it in the same kind of standards, and if she's already done time for this, she can't necessarily do it again, even though she's on year 8 of 10 and she's on parole. So I learned a lot from the comment section as well yesterday, and I think the video yesterday was very interesting, but it was very controversial, the one that we watched of the creator. And if we're playing with the same field here, I would assume that this one is going to be as well. So let's get to it. This is from a creator called Megan.
I don't associate myself as a murderer because if you think about it, yes, I had a part to play in it.
Wow, all these TikTok girlies are using the same clip, aren't they? They are not happy with this podcast.
I asked Nick for help. And how that conversation started was, you know, he was saying that he would protect me from anyone. I said anyone. He said yes. I said even my mother. He said...
By the way, a lot of people in my comment section yesterday were raising the point that the previous creator said something along the lines of, it's important to note that Nick has severe autism, which means that he can go from like 0 to 100, and basically made the argument that he can't be held that liable because he has autism. And a lot of people were commenting on my video and saying, Adam, I have autism, and to hear that creator say that was incredibly frustrating and irritating. And a lot of people, again, were commenting saying, I have autism, and it feels like they're infantizing having autism. And so I also want to bring that up, that was a big conversation that was happening in the comment section yesterday, where people were saying, we're over people excusing the fact that Nick did this because he has autism. You know what I mean? Like, and again, a lot of people who have autism were commenting saying that. It was mostly those people that also have autism that were saying that about someone who has autism. And so if they're telling you stop, you know, using this as an excuse, then don't use it as an excuse. I also had to bring that up.
Yes. And then the plan kind of formed from there.
You don't consider yourself a murderer? You literally murdered your mother. You might not have been the person who committed the actual act, but if you didn't reach out to your boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, whoever he was at the time, the actual, like, the dude who did the unaliving, although I think technically you can say anything at this app at this point, because, like, if I say murderer, I can say, but your mother would still be alive if you didn't seek out somebody who was going to commit that act. And here's the thing, guys, I know this is a really controversial topic because, like, this girl has been splashed across all of our For You pages, on Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok, in the freaking news for the past couple of weeks since she's been released. And I do feel for her so much, and I've been on both ends of the spectrums over the past couple of weeks when it comes to, like, when she was originally released. I was like, wow, yes, go Gypsy Rose, like, so proud of you, you know, you escaped.
And again, a lot of people were commenting on my videos saying that what is happening is exactly what I said was going to happen, which is that when Gypsy Rose got released, a lot of people immediately ran with the, yes, so happy, whatever. And then Gypsy Rose was getting very successful, talked about, and people started to have a problem with it. This is what we see in media, where people give someone a platform, they push them up so high, and whenever they're up so high, they go, actually, and kick their leg. Come down here a little bit. Come down here. Come. You know what I mean? Like, this happens over and over in media. And by the way, this only really happens to women. And I think it's really important to note that as well. Like, this is something that very commonly and mostly happens to women. And I said in a video right before or right after Gypsy Rose got released, when everyone was loving her, I was like, give it some time, because you're gonna see these videos go viral of people being like, actually, we don't like her, actually, we hate her, or actually, we think she's guilty, or whatever. It's the shifting dynamic. This is what happens in the media, mainly being on women, unfortunately. And again, we're seeing it here where, you know, you've given it the prolonged period of time, and people are now turning on Gypsy Rose because they held her to the status of an influencer, and then she basically became an influencer, and now they're not happy with it. Make up your mind.
The hell that you are residing in, because obviously, like, what her mother did is just unfathomable. Literally, I understand that her mom was mentally ill, obviously very mentally ill, to cause her daughter such like harm, mentally and physically. Like her mother needed severe help, and I understand why she felt like she had to do what she had to do. But the more that she does these interviews, the more.
Okay, here's the problem with covering it like this. I mean, that was what, probably 10, 15 seconds where this creator isolates what Gypsy Rose's mother put her through and then goes, I understand it. But, you know, we still have 4 minutes left of your video, and you condensed what Gypsy Rose went to that, which I assume the rest of this is going to be focusing on the fact that, like, your mother's no longer here. But we only focused on why the mother was, you know, why Gypsy was pushed to that point, or why Nick was pushed to that point because of the mother. You've condensed that so little. This is something to note in these videos about Gypsy Rose. Like, I don't care what your opinion is on her, but I think it's important that people who will make these videos will always kind of condense what actually Dee Dee did, and focus more on, like, no, why did Gypsy Rose do that? Like, what?
That's starting to come out. And in a couple of these videos, she has even confessed to saying that she has become a master manipulator solely due to how much time she spent with her mother, because her mother was a master manipulator as well.
I've seen this point be brought up on Reddit nonstop. People being like, here's Gypsy Rose saying that she is an incredible manipulator because she hung out with her mother, who is the biggest manipulator of all time. Okay. What do you want me to do with that? What do you want you to do? Like, okay. She said that she is good at manipulating people because her mother was a manipulator. Okay. That is a statement. That's a statement. We're acknowledging it. She said she is a manipulator, or she can be, or she understands how to be because of her mother. Okay? Let's take a moment of silence to acknowledge that. Okay? So no one can say we haven't acknowledged it. Moving on, that doesn't change what she went through. That doesn't change her being pushed to the point. That does not change anything. Look, we're acknowledging it. She said it. Okay? Can we move on now? Okay, now let's focus on the topic. You know what I mean? It just seems like a cheap way of trying to be like, oh, we're not going to believe anything you say because you said that you know how to be a manipulator because your mother was one. Actually, that enforces more the living hell that her mother put her through. That at age fucking 6, she knew how to manipulate people. Remember the part of the story was that she had to manipulate people so that Dee Dee could keep up the lifestyle? Like, put that...
You want to sit here and you want to tell me that you don't think that this little girl knew exactly what she was doing when she was committing murder, and that she learned her lesson in prison in 8 years, and that she's going to come out of all of this a better person? I'm sorry, but there's just something in my gut that's telling me that this is just, this whole situation is going to completely unravel. And
well, if Megan says it. That was such an interesting statement. I want to hear that again.
To come out of all of this.
Hold on.
and that she learned her lesson in prison in 8 years, and that she's going to come out of all of this a better person. I'm sorry, but there's just
Wasn't that the purpose of her going to prison? Girl.
something in my gut that's telling me that this is just this whole situation is going to completely unravel, and her true.
I also want to take a brief moment to talk about that. I feel like we're all talking right now on social media, but like this is all going to unravel, and there's, you know, this is basically, we'll leave it at that statement. This is all going to unravel. I think if I take a moment and think about that statement is actually really problematic. And if I've said that online before about this, I apologize, because when I hear someone else say it, I don't know if I have, but I'm saying if I have, because hearing it from a different someone saying it, wow, it's almost like they want Gypsy Rose to fail. It's almost like they want something bad to happen. Like this thing of, I'm telling you, it's going to unravel. Okay. Like, what do you want us to do with that information? Like, right? It, like, is seemingly, like, hinting at, like, you want something to unravel. Because that's the more interesting story. Like,
Are going to come out at some
this one is way more problematic than the video we watched yesterday. Fuck me.
point. And it's actually really sad because, like I said, I kind
Wait,
of...
what'd she say?
Her true colors are going to come out at some point. And it's like...
We do not know this woman, by the way. We never knew Gypsy Rose. We will never know Gypsy Rose. Like, let's leave it at that.
really sad because, like I said, I've been on both ends of the spectrum and both ends of the fence on this case because, again, it's just horrific what actually happened to her. And I understand, like, feeling trapped and needing to get out of it or wanting to get out of it, especially, like, when you've been confined to your own body and told that you were sick and you weren't sick and, like, all these things. I get it. I understand.
You're
like, I fucking get it.
You get it.
I also have, like, I think we have all had to, like, envision at one point, like, what would it take for us to have to cross that boundary. And there's a lot of people out there who say that they would
Have you? I haven't.
do that, but, like, for me, I've always envisioned, like, if somebody were to ever try to attack my family, that's what it would take for me to personally cross that boundary. So again, I can only imagine what she went through. But this whole situation's very odd. I think it's she is so well spoken, and I'm sure that she learned a fuck ton when she was in prison. But
didn't you say that if you go to prison for 8 years, you don't learn anything when you come out?
Coincidence that there have been numerous movies that were made about her, numerous TV shows made about her. She was literally, like, the center of attention for so long in her life. Like, her mom had all of her attention. She was the center of attention in her town, in her school. She's, again, the face of all these movies, the face of all these TV shows. Now all these news articles are coming out and everybody wants to interview her.
I mean, being locked away from society for 8 years will be pretty humbling rather than the opposite effect, but
Some point when the spotlight is no longer on her, that's what I'm concerned about. That's what I'm concerned about, because I think that she's going to crack, and I think that we're going to see her true colors come about at that point. Because people who love this spotlight and love the attention.
this bothers me so much. This bothers me so much because, again, it's this, I think now watching two of these back to back, it's like these creators are, like, hoping for her to fail, or, like, hoping for the next big drama, or hoping for, like, it's like putting it out there that when this happens, I told you so. Like, this is someone's life you're theorizing about who had their life stolen from them, and, like, it's just weird.
From a mass scale, I think that they will do anything.
You can acknowledge that the life that she's living right now is probably quite dangerous to her, about going from nothing to all this fame and stuff. You can acknowledge that, but you don't have to be like, something's bad's gonna happen. She's gonna kill someone. Someone's gonna kill, like, you...
Back to that point. And I hope that I'm wrong. I hope this girl truly did learn her lesson. I hope that she has a blessed life moving forward, and I hope that maybe it's just, like, all this...
She said all that to say, I love you, girl!
All the mass media that's kind of starting to cloud my judgment and make me believe this way, and I hope that I'm completely wrong. I just don't think that I am. I don't. I think that we're only starting to see exactly who she is as a person because she's doing all these interviews, and I don't think she's ever had to be fully questioned to this point. And I know that she has a full team behind her telling her exactly what to say, but when you have thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people who are coming down on you and calling you a murderer every single day, because when she committed that act, the social media wasn't a thing, and now that she's out and she's seeing it, and she's causing a TikTok, and she has all these hate comments. Yeah, I can just see her unraveling bit by bit, so.
This is weird. Very weird. Weirder than the one yesterday. It literally is like, oh, well, if I was Gypsy Rose, I would crack by an eye. Look at all those hate comments. Look at all... It's weird. It is so weird, actually. Again, everything I said was going to happen, happened. They lifted her up. They fucking... kissed her ass, and then they went, wait, we don't like this. Pull the chair, Gypsy Rose falls. They go, that's better. Oh, now you're gonna crack. You know what I mean? It's really weird. Let me know your opinion on this one, because this one, like, a lot of people are talking about, and there's a lot of people agreeing with this creator, and I'm like, am I crazy for not agreeing with this creator? Let me know. We'll talk about it down below. I was going to say au revoir. No, I need to say auf Wiedersehen.